Hello everybody, this is Alexander here with another playthrough episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses. The votes in chat were cast and the Black Eagle house is what ended up winning. So we are going to play through this playthrough. Now, it was specifically requested that I be as evil as possible, basically. So, while that isn't technically something I can do because of the nuances of how a lot of this works, I will play through the game in what a lot of people consider to be the evil playthrough. Alright, I will be documenting this entire journey, and I will not be skipping any dialogue or any cutscenes, and the only thing that might be done off recording would be any kind of grinding that needs to happen. And even if that does happen, I will make sure that I show you guys the map tiles that you can roll, and the way that I position myself on these map tiles to most effectively grind levels and such. Alright, let's go and talk to Rhea.
How are you enjoying your time at the Academy thus far? I hope you have found our halls brimming with the vitality of well-intentioned souls.
I suppose it is time for you to take charge of one of our 3 houses of students. I must note that I am personally against entrusting someone as lacking in trackable history as yourself with such a task. But it is as the Archbishop desires.
So, this is this is what I'm going to do anytime during dialogue that I want to give input on anything that is said, is I have the ability to essentially pause the auto advance, so this will allow me to give input on anything that I feel like needs to have input put on it. And him voicing this particular distrust in you, it has like a reason. I know that he's coming off as like a douchebag, but like, you will find out as we continue as to why he is behaving the way that he is.
The Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Deer. All so different. I hope you've made it a point to get to know each of them.
Since you are new here, we have decided to allow you first pick. Manuela and I will take charge of the remaining 2 houses.
We did take time to get to know them, and I left it up to a vote, and the Black Eagle House won.
So you have chosen the Black Eagles led by Edelgard, correct? Your heart has made its choice then. All I ask is that you guide these open minds with virtue, care, and sincerity.
They are all promising youths who bear the weight of Fodlan's future upon their shoulders. I hope you appreciate what an honor it is to lead them.
Brother? Oh, I am so sincerely sorry. I did not mean to interrupt.
I'm in the middle of something, Flame. Is it urgent?
No, it's nothing. More importantly, who is this?
This is our newest professor at the Academy.
Oh my! A new addition to the Officers Academy! I am so very pleased to meet you, Professor. I am Sedith's little sister, Flame. I am so happy to make your acquaintance.
AKA the monastery's resident cinnamon roll.
Let us focus on the topic at hand. There is something you should be aware of. In a few days' time, there will be a mock battle between the 3 houses, intended to gauge the current progress of the students. We will be using this battle as an opportunity to ascertain your own abilities as well. Please do not disappoint the Archbishop. That is all.
Wait, so our new professor is you? I didn't see that one coming.
Easy, Caspar. Aren't you being a bit rude?
You know it's a waste of time to expect politeness from him. It will be a pleasure learning from you, Professor. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to take a nap.
Don't look at me like that! Oh, and please don't talk to me too much either.
I'm sorry for the chaos you've walked into.
I hear we are rather close in age, Professor.
I hope you do not mind if we treat you like one of us. In our class, we try to treat each other as equals, despite any differences in age or status. Personally, I would love to include you in that inner circle.
You have a gut, Professor. I will take great joy from your teachings.
Petra, I believe you mean to say that our professor has guts. That's a bit different from having a gut. You can't go around saying someone so slim and attractive has a gut.
Oh, please take my apologies.
God.
I have not yet mastered this language.
Professor, I want you to know that it's perfectly acceptable for you to treat me as you do the others. I may be the Imperial Princess, but here at the Academy, I'm just another student. That said, know that I have high expectations of you, and high hopes. But I'm certain you can lead the Black Eagle House to greatness.
Sure, sure. Now let's break the ice with a training session. I want to see our new teacher in action.
Why will the ice be broken? Is this a custom I have missed in my studies?
So something I do want to note is that I really do like the way that this whole like her not mastering the language thing gets played up. And it's a really interesting character dynamic for them to include.
Not real ice, just the ice of, well, it just means let's get to know each other.
I don't want to train. Let's stay in the classroom and learn from a book.
Let's all calm down and have a nice cup of tea, how about? Doesn't that sound lovely, Professor?
I know we all agreed to treat each other as equals, but there is a limit to what I can tolerate. The esteemed Black Eagle House requires order.
Looks like your first job will be to quiet down this racket. I don't envy you.
They're not normally this rowdy. I do hope you can manage, Professor.
So I will also be recruiting some of my favorite units as well throughout the playthrough. I have a list of things that do and don't matter. I did kind of make sure that I'm going to be doing this right since it's the one that everybody voted on. Because I want the run to be done correctly. Yes, there are new places to explore. You received 1,000 gold from the Church of Saros as funding for the month's activities.
Say, while you're here, I'd like to use this device I designed to determine whether the power of a crest resides within you. Won't hurt a bit. Promise. You don't know about crests? Well, allow me to tell you everything. Absolutely everything about them. Is your calendar clear? This will take a while.
So, when it comes to the topic of crests, I advise that people try to pay as much attention to that as possible because it is very, very important throughout the entirety of all of the story, right? It affects a lot of things.
Crests are a fascinating topic. But before one can dive deeply into said topic, one must first understand what crests are. They are power incarnate. They are said to have been bestowed upon humans by the goddess countless ages ago. They exist within the flesh and are passed down through bloodlines. Those who carry crests may excel at magic, display exceptional strength, or any number of boons. Each crest has its own power, the nature of which is beyond mortal understanding. For now.
I like that he hasn't removed the possibility that mortals can eventually understand it well enough that magic may not necessarily be the full explanation.
I suspect as much, yes. But we won't know for sure unless I look into the matter. As I said, crests are passed down through the blood. However, just because someone carries a crest does not necessarily mean their descendants will inherit it as well. Only a scarce few descendants of a crest's bloodline end up inheriting that crest's power. Perhaps one of your ancestors bore a crest, and you just happen to inherit it. That is how a crest usually presents itself, after all.
Yeah, let's let him look into it.
Yes, of course. I'll get to the bottom of it straight away. Now then, please go ahead and hold out your arm over this device here. What is this? A pattern I've never seen before. Is it possible an as yet undiscovered crest has been detected? To think there are still crests out there that even I am unaware of. How thrilling! Pardon my unrestrained jubilation. I have much to consider. You may leave now. I have more research to do in regard to this crest. Yes, so very much more research. But for now, your work here is done. What could this line here be indicating? Perhaps it represents a lack of symmetry. Or perhaps... What in the world? Oh, I see. It may be connected to that, but to a greater degree than usual.
He just gets straight absorbed into his work. I like him a lot as a character, actually. I think he's cool. Okay, an academy uniform, yep, for the protagonist is now available in the journal. I have all the DLC stuff. So it's gonna give me a bunch of messages about all of the, stuff that I have. Yeah, we can recruit Anna Chapter 3 onwards. Okay. A quest has been added to Chapter 5 of the main story on. You find quests via the bulletin board, yep.
With each moon, professors of the Officers' Academy receive... It notes the days on which events and missions will take place that month.
So
Pay
she's just
careful
explaining what the
attention to
calendar
your
does.
schedule, so that you may thoughtfully plan what you intend to do each month, and when.
Okay, so the reason why this is important is because if you look at the calendar, it's going to mark like events and stuff, so like people's birthdays and things that are happening. When you click explore, this is the most useful thing to do pretty much every day you have off on the calendar, right? Which will always be a Sunday. And the only time you don't want to do this is the day before whatever your primary objective is. Right? A lot of times you do just want to like battle or whatever if it's a choice, which we don't have access to yet. But we're going to click explore and you know, hit yes and all that. Yep, that's our room. Yeah, we heard a girl's voice, but we're pretty sure we were hallucinating, but that is not the case. If you have all the DLC and you want to change like your outfits or whatever, this is where you would do it, is at this desk. I'm not going to change anybody's outfit because I don't see much reason to. Yeah, I'll just leave everything default. If you guys want me to mess with it, you want to see any of that, let me know, and I will actually go in there and, you know, show you everything, but if you don't want to see it, I won't spend the time on it kind of thing. You can open your map like this, and like I said, anywhere that you've already been, you can fast travel to just save yourself walking time. The quests will be the exclamation points above people's heads, like this guy. Let me know when you are hungry.
I will make you a quality meal, as thanks for your service to His Highness. I have a request.
I forgot there for a second that even the overworld voice dialogues are voiced over. Yeah, we'll take Green Thumb Beginnings. So, he gave us some seeds, and he's gonna tell us to go down to the greenhouse down here, okay? Now, yeah, cutscene, because we haven't been here yet. every single day that you explore, you want to make sure you're doing the greenhouse. For 2 reasons. The first is that it's going to give you stat points into something called Professor level, which is very important to level up. You kind of want to do that before anything else, and it doesn't take any of your action points.
Well, there's Dorothea, Hilda, and Mercedes. Lady Rhea's quite the beauty too. And I must admit, I've even checked out Professor Manuela once or twice. You know, Professor, I think I'm going to like it at the Officers Academy. There are beautiful girls as far as the eye can see.
Sylvain, that is not the way to look at the
Professor,
situation, my guy.
I've got a small favor to ask.
Yeah. We'll take your quest, man. So his quest is going to basically teach us how to interact with the dining hall, which is another important thing to do. This is one of my favorite rooms in the entire monastery. Well, areas, I guess you could say. Alrighty. So we're gonna go in here, and when we talk to the greenhouse keeper, yep, we're gonna want to do some gardening. By gardening, you can harvest all kinds of crops, flowers for instance, make great gifts. Some people might even decorate their rooms with the flowers you give them. Use the plant command to decide which seeds you want to use. More seeds means a bigger harvest, while more compatible seeds lead to higher quality. Use the cultivate command to pay the greenhouse keeper to look after your crop. The more you spend, the better your harvest will be. So you basically always pay max gold later on. Your crop will be ready 1 week after you plant your seeds. Use the harvest command to gather what you've grown. Very important that you do this. So we're going to use the seeds he gave us. After selecting the amount using the directional buttons, press the A button to hand the seeds to the greenhouse keeper. Yep, this is what we want to plant. And then you go down to cultivate, infuse with magic, 0 gold, because it's the only choice you have right now. And then we just leave.
Thanks.
Quest completed. And renown increase will be important a little bit later. When we get to the point that we can actually use that, I will kind of walk through whatever the game doesn't for you guys and kind of show you what you should be spending it on. Right, the best expenditures of your renown. So in here will be another quest. The cinnamon roll.
Hello there, Professor.
Hey, Flynn.
Well, I call you that, but I am afraid I am not a student here myself.
You know, that's a
Should
shame.
the opportunity arise, I would love to become a student and begin my studies in earnest. The monastery is kind enough to provide a sanctuary for my brother and I. He's the only family I have. Might you help me with a favor?
Yeah, we'll do the cinnamon rolls quest. Okay, and this is the dining hall. I actually like the little mini cutscenes a lot. It adds a lot of personality to the rooms by just kind of giving you a camera angle view of it. Dining staff. I always check the special, okay? So anybody who has these arrows up by their name means they like the dish a lot, and it will fill their effort meter entirely. Okay, so I personally will never feed someone something unless the blue arrows are next to their name. So we'll do Edelgard and Dorothea because they are 2 of my favorite units in the game.
Oh, I love this meal. How did you know? I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Okay. And I'll make sure that everybody gets to hear the favorite food dialogue line at least once before I just start pushing A through them. So you see how our professor level went up? This early game is the most important thing to level up because it increases your activity points for exploration. And it also increases the amount of money you get per month from the monastery.
I knew I could count on you.
So that's done. Renown points, we got 300 for doing the quest. And you will get renown points for every single quest that you complete. So it is important to complete all quests. Alright, Cinnamon Roll. We're gonna go do your quest now. I want to see if I can see any of the little glowy bits. Probably not yet. Alright, so... talk to this guy. Yeah, we would love to fish in the pond, man. So, fishing. To begin fishing, first you select the bait you wish to use, wait until you see the silhouette of a fish you want to catch, and then press the A button to hook it. Don't wait too long, though, or the fish will escape with the bait. Press the A button when the circle overlaps to reduce the stamina of the hooked fish. Once its stamina is depleted, you will have successfully caught the fish. If your line breaks, the fish will escape. Durability of the fishing line increases with professor level. Repeated excellent timings will create combos and reduce the fish's stamina quickly. If you land excellent timing at all opportunities, you will net a more valuable fish than usual. So it's very important that you try to get a perfect, catch. Perfect. Awesome. But that was also, it's I think by default a super easy fish to catch. So something to note about fishing is you do not need to expend an activity point to do this or the greenhouse. So this can be done indefinitely as long as you have fish bait to do it. So just keep that in mind. And later on there's going to be a day where the pond has something going on that we're going to want to make sure we do it. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, we have to actually go talk to her. It's weird that the quest doesn't just auto turn in like the others, and that's fine. What's up, Cinnamon Roll? How's it going?
You have helped me so much.
That is now your name. Thanks, Flame. She gave us some bait, it looks like. Yep, and we got some fish. Nice. The fish are cooking ingredients, so for the kitchen and feeding your characters meals, you will be required to have materials for those meals. So it's usually a good idea to make sure that you have enough materials to cook. And materials can be gotten from everything from completing quests to fishing to doing a myriad of other things. You know, just make sure you're keeping up on stuff.
Okay.
Alright, Edelgard, what do you want? What's the quest?
Some believe the dignity of the Empire rests on the results of the mock battle. That's an overstatement, of course. Still, we must do our best to prevail. You should take the time to learn each student's abilities. Perhaps some extra lessons and training sessions are in order? You look as if you have no idea what's going on here. I know my way around, so I'm happy to help you find your footing. The monastery has some exceptional facilities that everyone who lives at the Officers' Academy is welcome to make use of. For example, you can enjoy a meal with your students at the dining hall, or take part in some one-on-one sparring at the training grounds. I suggest visiting the various facilities whenever you have the time to spare. It's a great way to get to know the students, faculty, and various workers here. Have you noticed the bulletin boards placed around the monastery? Those contain requests people have posted, as well as helpful information from the market. If you prove yourself by helping people with their requests, certain facilities here will become available for your use. The bulletin board is updated frequently, so I suggest checking it at least once a month. You should take your time when speaking with everyone, but when it comes to using the facilities, well, you need to be more careful about that. If you use them without planning ahead, your free time will be gone before you know it.
Yep. And as you go up in professor level, you get more points.
A great deal is expected from professors of the Officers' Academy, so it's important to hone your skills. To put it plainly, you'll need to keep expanding your knowledge of all disciplines, not just battle.
Professor level determines your maximum activity points. Raise it by reading books, taking part in activities, and interacting with students.
Dimitri and Claude are the leaders of the other two houses. Do not underestimate them. When we take the field, it would be best not to engage the both of them at once.
Thank you, Hubert. That is some very useful advice. Alrighty, let's double check, make sure we're not missing any quest markers. And we're not. So I'm going to go back into my room here for a minute, and I'm going to open the roster file, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff before we end the episode here now that we have picked our class. So when you go into the characters, since you're playing on Switch, if you open the inventory list, right, you're going to get abilities and combat arts. The reason why these are important as tabs is because when you go into the abilities tree, sometimes, especially later when you level up, you can swap these abilities for other things, okay? But this is also where you can go to read people's passives. So, for instance, Byleth, or in this case Alex, your passive is Professor's Guidance. Multiplies this unit's and adjacent allies' experience earned by 1.2. Multiplies experience earned by 1.2. Those two passives, as far as I know, they stack. So if you keep Edelgard and Alex next to each other, or I think it's within 2 tiles of each other, while fighting, both of them will get a pretty sizable amount of experience. Grants plus 5 might with gambits. That will become important a little bit later. Hubert here is actually really, really good with gambits. Confidence grants hit/avoid plus 15 when a unit is at full HP. So he is one of those, like, as long as he's at full health, he's kind of, like, annoying to kill. But if he ever drops below full health, he's just like a sitting duck. Catnap, if unit takes no action except wait, recovers up to 10% of max HP. It's not terrible, but since he's a healer, he's almost always going to be doing something. Born Fighter, adjacent foes suffer avoid -10 during combat, which isn't terrible, but I'm not likely to use Caspar that much. Bernadetta grants plus 5 attack when the unit is not at full HP, which is kind of weird. But she can be good if you put the time into her. Songstress, adjacent allies will recover up to 10% of max HP at the start of each turn. This is actually pretty good. When I first played through this game, I did not think that this passive was going to be as useful as it is, but she can be very, very good if stationed between, like, tanks or something. She's very annoying to get rid of. Petra has one of my favorite passives in the game, Hunter's Boon. Grants crit plus 20 when foe's HP is above 50%. The reason why this is so important is because as the game progresses, this unit specifically can get to the point where she can and will 100 to 0 units consistently. And you guys will see that as we go. Edelgard here, if you go back and look at everybody's stats, she's got pretty good base stats. A lot of them do. The other thing to note is that everybody has, like, if they have one of these, not everybody has a crest, but if they have one, it's useful to read what they do. So hers will sometimes raise her might, so damage, when she's using a combat art, which is really important. Hubert does not have one. Ferdinand does. Minor crest of, I think it's Keechel. I'm probably saying that wrong. It allows combat arts to sometimes prevent enemy counterattacks, which can be very useful. Let's see, Linhardt's crest is sometimes raises might when using recovery magic, so sometimes you just heal for more, which isn't terrible. Bernadette's is occasionally allows weapons to attack twice. This can be gross at higher levels because she can eventually get to the point where she's, like, attacking, like, 4 times in one action, right? Which is very, very useful for just killing an enemy. And then Dorothea does not have one. Petra does not have one. Yours is currently unknown. Okay. And now that I've gone over all of that, this is where this episode is going to end. I look forward to continuing the Black Eagles playthrough with you guys, and we will be recruiting some of my favorite units along the way. And thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed your time here. Thank you very much. Alexander, signing out.